Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys, California. Before I begin, give all praise, it's the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. We're going to get into some deep information this evening. Um, I shared a video in the community section, Giants of Inner Earth. Suggest you, if you have some time, to make sure you take some time and check out that video. Because it's just going to kind of go with what we're talking about right now. What we have to understand is much of the awakening has to do with gaining knowledge and understanding once again. Gaining our knowledge and our understanding once again. That is all a huge part of the promise, correct? Just like I talked about in John. Let me go here real quick. John 14 and 26. Let me go there real quick. There's going to be a lot of things that like we've read. They're going to have more meaning or deeper meaning now than they did before. John 14:26. But the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name. I'm going to say it the way it should be. She shall teach you all things and bring things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. We had a lot more understanding in the past. That is evidenced by all the things you're seeing that are being unearthed here in these last days. All this information is coming out and is pretty much proving that a long time ago, our people had way more knowledge and understanding than they do today. Okay? Way more knowledge and understanding than they do today. Everything is backwards. They might make it seem as if we were like cavemen. We didn't have any knowledge and understanding before, but not until the Gentiles showed up did we start to have these technological advances. But in actuality, it's been the reverse. We've had technological advancements that were way beyond what you see today. And that was lost to us as we went through our cursing. And when the Most High said he's going to bring back all these things back into our remembrance, it's not just knowledge of the Most High, but it's also knowledge of what we did in the past, what we were capable of, what we were capable of when we were with our power, the secrets that he had given us, the information, understanding he had given us in the past. Now, this information was not given to everyone. So therefore, that's why you're seeing, so few that are able to grasp this new information. When they talk about everybody wants salvation, salvation, salvation. And, when you actually look into the Nag Hammadi, it's called The Wisdom of Jesus Christ. And okay, that's the name of the book that's in the Nag Hammadi. Salvation is defined as waking up from forgetfulness. Now, not everyone was given information and understanding in the first place. So they were always in a forgetful state. They were always in a lowly intellectual state. If the Most High put spirits on the vast majority of the nations to lead them astray, then they were in forgetfulness before, and they just continued in that same state. But the Most High did not put a spirit of deception on us. So therefore, we had knowledge and understanding. This is written about in the book of Jubilees. Okay, and so we lost that understanding, but now we're at the end where the Most High has given it back to us. Okay, so the other nations are totally aware of this. So they've always have. I mean, if you understand their playbook, it's always been about distractions. The distractions aren't necessarily for the other nations. They're always distracted. They're always lost. They're always just kind of floating around in the wind. The distractions are for the Most High's people. Okay? So that's why you got to pay attention to what you're seeing. You know, they got Kyrie out here and they got Kanye out here. Now, just bear with me. Have Kyrie or Kanye shown you anything new? Have they been used? I'm not worried about the other people, the other nations right now. I'm talking about you because you understand that this is a personal relationship or a personal journey for you. Have they shown you anything new? Have they given you new understanding about anything? Because that's what we are moving into. We are moved into, okay, the time of Aquarius, the time of where you're supposed to be responsible for getting more knowledge, understanding. Now, the other people who didn't know anything, if they take this information and run with it, great. But I'm going to venture to say the vast majority of the people will not. I see a lot of these guys who have these YouTube channels and talk about sports and they're talking about Kyrie and whatever else and admitted to themselves, oh, I still haven't even watched the documentary. I still haven't even watched it. I haven't even taken the time to look at it. But they're constantly doing videos about Kyrie. But they won't even take the time to even do any research. Now, many people think things are getting accomplished by constantly talking about the situation. We already knew about who's running the NBA. We already know who's running sports. We already know who's running ESPN. We already know who's running the banks. We already know who's running all that. Nothing new. Okay? So just understand that there's a lot of distractions, you know, and then we're like, hey, if you wanted to know all this information, really a week of studying, looking at the videos, looking at the books, going in and getting that information, you can probably get a lot of it in a couple weeks. And then, you know, if this is something that's in your spirit, you will then begin to delve even deeper. But see, they want you to, that's like you've read the whole Bible. You read the Apocrypha. You're starting to get into now, you're starting to read Enoch. And then someone says, hey, you know what? I think we need to go back and look at just and read Genesis again. See, right when you're getting ready to get into deeper information, deeper understanding, someone tries to get you to go back and look at something that you've already read. Look at information you're already well acquainted with. Now, for a new person, that might be great for them if they stick with this. But that's not my problem. That's not my thing. That's between them and the Most High. We're all on our personal journeys. But just think about that. You know, understand that the enemy doesn't have many tricks. He's got a lot of the same ones over and over again. And it's really been about distractions. So now they give you someone who's famous, a couple of famous guys who come out there and one gives you some partial truths, but then, you know, it devolves into, you know, somebody sleeping, you know, talking about, you know, making accusations about one of the NBA players sleeping with his wife. Bro, who cares? You know, I say we're in much deeper, you know, intellectual endeavors. Don't care who's sleeping with your wife or slept with your wife or whatever else. You know, I said, so and sharing a link, cool. That's great. As long as people are going to take that information and run with it. We're going to get back into some more of this deeper understanding and this deeper information because that's where we are right now. And you got to understand that all the nations have been confederate to keep this information from you. They've all been confederate with keeping the hollow earth information away from you. They've all been confederate with no one goes into Antarctica. No one goes and does any exploration in Antarctica. They don't agree on anything. But they all came together to say no one goes here. No one goes there. But see, they've been spreading books and spreading information between themselves. They've been disseminating information. They're all well aware of the openings that are there, at the North and South Pole. They're well aware of the hollow earth. They're well aware of the subterranean world. But see, now that we started to delve into this information, we started to get into this information and started to make connections. Then all of a sudden, it was okay for Kanye to go crazy about his topic. Then it was okay for, Kyrie to share that, share the link to Hebrews to Negroes. How long have we been thinking like, hey man, if one of these stars actually got into this truth and started to spread this information, like how much it could grow. But then it never happened, right? I used to think about that all the time. Man, if just a couple of these guys in the NBA or NFL would come out and admit who we are, and they kind of gave little hints here and there, but if they really kind of came out and shared this information, how quickly it would spread. Well, that was squashed. But now all of a sudden, it was okay for them to bring it out. Why now? Why in the last month was it okay for Kyrie to, share that link to Hebrews to Negroes? Why is it okay now to have that discussion? Because, see, you started to go deeper. You started to make connections. Most High started to show you your history. Started to show you about the hollow earth. Started to show you that your books, your knowledge, your understanding is buried, is hidden underground. And those are the things that they've been wanting to keep from you this whole time. So it's okay then to have the discussion about you coming from Africa, you possibly being the Negroes. Then it was okay to have that discussion because that's going to derail you from continuing to look at the subterranean world. In that video I shared, it talked about, I read Genesis, talked about how the Nephilim were in the earth. So there's many things that are in the Bible that refer to this subterranean world. And now that we're looking for it, you're going to start to see a lot more information coming out, a lot more understanding coming out. And as this more information comes out, more understanding comes out, the weaker the opposition gets. So therefore, they're going to have to give a little in order to keep us distracted. Remember, that's what I told you. They're going to have to start to give a little bit. They're going to have to come up with bigger distractions in order to keep you, from chasing after the truth. As you can see, the Gentiles are just totally lost as far as everything is about. Everything has been about their stories. Oh, nuclear bombers are getting what is it? They're fueling up the nuclear bombers. They're getting ready to take the bombs up. They're gonna destroy this area. Oh, you got 24 hours. You got 48 hours. How long are you going to be able to continue to cry wolf before people start to realize that there is absolutely no validity to what you're saying? You got, Russia got all their people running into bunkers. They got all these people going into the bunkers. Putin's in the bunker. He's ready to be, it's imminent now. Nothing. Because it's always been about distractions. The distractions of the Gentiles aren't necessarily working as well anymore. So therefore, now they're using our own people to be distractions. But like I said, how much new information are they bringing out? Or is it just, again, another rehash of old information? You be the judge. We got brothers out here, going over to Barclays and everything else. But like I said, they were having interviews, with Nathaniel. So I saw him, going around and having interviews with Whitlock and he's some reporter that used to be like a sports reporter. And I was just cracking up listening to him because he was interviewing Nate, and they were just kind of like, he's like, well, Whitlock was like, well, pretty much, my stance. I'm Christian, and I'm not gonna, Hebrew Israelites. It's like they're, it's like a black supremacist. Like all of a sudden, like like they're concentrating on black supremacy. I was like, oh, so it was okay for Christianity to push white supremacy for hundreds of years, but you're not gonna talk about this Hebrew Israelite thing because they're pushing supposedly black supremacy. So it was okay to have the wool pulled over your eyes for hundreds of years with white supremacy, but you're just going to take a stand on that black supremacy BS. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, why didn't you just kind of like do some research yourself and realize that the Christianity that they've been giving you is a bunch of BS and start to do some work on your own? But see, that's how people are. They're quick to make excuses for what's comfortable. Yeah, I know that Christianity has pushed white. Yes, I know that Jesus is, God is not white. I know, I know, but it's comfortable for me, so therefore I'm going to stay there. Oh, I'm not going to die. That black Hebrew Israelite stuff. Oh no, that's because you're making black people be like superior, and that's a problem with me. Oh, but it wasn't a problem when it was white people being superior, though, right? Okay, well you stick with that and see how that works. No one's saying that either has 100% truth. That's why it's up to you to make sure you're going out and doing your due diligence. There's truth and there's deception in everything. Okay, so you got people who see this going on and they'll cleave to this. They'll talk about this for a little while. Then you got this right here with Charles Barkley busting out articles from 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Every black kid thinks the only way he can be successful is through athletics. That is a terrible thing. Charles Barkley. Well, Charles, why did all black kids supposedly think like that? Isn't that maybe because that's what they've been conditioned to think? They didn't realize they could go to school on just their academic prowess. Isn't that something that society has pretty much been pushing this whole time? Sing for me, entertain me, be a good basketball player, be a good athlete. And that's funny coming from an athlete who made millions of dollars playing a sport. It wasn't like you used your brain to get out of the ghetto. You used your athleticism. I said, so kind of funny, right? But like I said, again, rehashing distractions, using Shaquille O'Neal. He had called Kyrie an idiot for sharing Hebrews and Negroes, and comes to find out that Shaq showed Hebrews and Negroes in his movie theater. Did he have to, come out and explain anything? No. Did they ask him anything about it? Not really. You see, but then people now will talk about that. It's all about distractions. All of a sudden, I cracked up with LeBron because I'm like, hold on, when you had your opportunity to go out there and, be original and tell us your own thoughts, you attacked Kyrie. But now all of a sudden, a couple days ago, he's like, oh, well, why didn't anybody ask me about Jerry Jones? You guys had opportunity. You are all of a sudden now you're trying to play like you're down for the cause. But you've already shown yourself. We've already seen through the BS. But now all of a sudden you want to act like, well, why didn't any of you guys ask me about Jerry Jones? Y'all had, stuff with Kyrie out here all the time. But y'all say, You knew that from jump, but you still went ahead and jumped on Kyrie because it was advantageous for you at that time. You see what I'm saying? And then the media wants to play it off like like he's some kind of a big, like Bron, some kind of a big social justice guy all of a sudden. Like, please, man. Like I said, they're all playing their parts for the distraction. Now, something that kind of was coming, I'm gonna show you guys real quick. From this is from the movie The Mummy with Tom Cruise. Okay, and what you're gonna look, we're gonna kind of go over some of the stuff that was actually in that video that I shared last night, or no, this morning. Okay, because what you got to understand is this: you start looking at all these movies, and these guys are searching. They're always going down underground to look for hidden artifacts, searching for hidden information. And that movie, I was actually just watching it and checking it out because I wanted to do a little bit more research, and you could just see like the other nations. Now, remember, they didn't have a lot of this information. They weren't privy to a lot of this information. So as we were asleep, it would make sense that they would then begin to dig and search for a lot of these hidden artifacts and this hidden information. Right? Now, God knows what they're finding. But that would prove, like, if you watch the movie, of this mummy movie right here, you'll see the one guy, Russell Crowe, he's playing like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of guy. But they got books on books on books in his office. So they've been researching, where to look for this, where I need to find that. How do I combat this? How do I combat that? They've got all these our records, and they've been using that information, to search for these artifacts. And when it was crazy because when they found this woman here, they showed how like she was like in Mercury. She was like in a sarcophagus in Mercury, and all these priests had all of these like jewels and all these things set up for the spirit world to hold her down, and to keep her submerged and keep her hidden away. Just to show you that just because the churches have told you that these things aren't true, that this stuff isn't true, it's all made up, you can tell that it was used a long time ago. The connections, the information about the zodiacs, okay, all of this information, I said, is very important, and it was given to a certain people, and they knew how to use it. The other nations got a hold of some of our records, and they've been using it to search, okay, for people, for information, for books. In that video, it talks about how green people came up from under the ground and were giving them information about what's under the ground in the subterranean world. They're giving information about a sun that is down there, illuminating certain parts of the world underground. So like I said, it's just a lot of information that you've been told is not true. And things have not been explained to you, but they are steady going down and searching for information. They are spreading and sharing books with each other. But we are now coming into our salvation, and our salvation is waking up from forgetfulness, just like it says in the Nag Hammadi. And that the ones that he foreknew are going to be the ones that get this information once again. Okay? It's not for everyone. Okay? And they've just been going out of their way to hide all of this information from us. But the scriptures do let you know that, what is going to be happening. But like I said, it's happening on different levels. Let's go to Romans 11:2 real quick. Let's go to Romans 11 and 2. The Most High hath not cast away his people, which he foreknew. What ye not, what the scripture saith of Elias. Okay, how he would make his intercession to God against Israel. But the thing is the Most High has not cast away his people, which he foreknew. He's going to give us this understanding once again. He's not limiting us to just the Bible. He's given us knowledge and understanding about what's underground as well. We have writings everywhere. We have information that is hidden in buildings. We have information that is hidden in these sacred places. We have information that's hidden in the pyramids that are built over the sacred places. These places have been kept for us for our awakening. Also in the wisdom of Jesus Christ in the Nag Hammadi, page 288, says, whoever deserves knowledge will receive it. Whoever deserves knowledge here at the end will receive it. In the tripartite tractate, again, Nag Hammadi, those he knew from the beginning, those are the ones that are going to be getting knowledge once again. And see, the other nations have been searching for this knowledge, getting our records, getting underground, looking for these things. That's what's been going on. We've just been going through our punishment. We have had no idea. Just like it talks about in the book of Enoch 104, 10 to 12. The righteous and wise shall be given the holy writings of joy, integrity, and of great wisdom. Okay? That's what's going on right now. Just because, like I said, we've been told that these things aren't true, doesn't consider the source. As they're telling us things are not true, they're searching for it. How do we know? Look at the movies they produce. You think they're just making all this stuff up? In this mummy movie, it shows all these monsters. It shows all these things that they were pulling up out of the ground in their labs. They knew how to, bring down this mummy right here. They knew what they needed, like the weapons that they needed to use in order to, bring her down. How would they know that? Because they had our records. And in the video, I'm sharing a couple of the slides. I said, really good information. Sorry, Gerard Vincent. St. Yves right here, St. Ives, believed that an ancient synarchist world government was transferred to Agartha around 3200 BC. Here, millions of interterrestrials are ruled by priest kings, the Brahmatma, and his two colleagues, the Mahatma and Mahanga. Their language is called Vatan or Vatanian. Shortly after publishing, St. Ives became worried he had revealed too much and destroyed every copy but one. Gerard Anasclet Vincent, founder of the Marinist Order and popularizer of occultism, published it in 1910. Talking about that, and that's something they're always worried about. Am I giving away too much information? Why is that? Because they know that this information was not for everyone. They know that this information was to be kept hidden. Who were they trying to hide it from? Us. Because eventually they know that we're going to wake up and that we're going to wake up and be searching for this information. And that's why they have to set up more and more distractions. And the distractions are going to continue to get crazier and crazier. I said, because that's what they do. It's all, and while they're setting up distractions, they're going to be out looking for all this information. Set up the distractions for us while they're constantly out looking. I said you can see they were out looking for this information. They're looking for these lost cities of Agartha. They're looking for this stuff. Right here is the truth stranger than fiction. Now check this part out. The crosstown rail is delayed. In this movie, this is what really happened. Okay, due to the discovery of a Knights Templar chamber with valuable relics. We'll come to find out, I guess, what the guy said in his video, that this was a real project that was going on. There was a real project that was going on, I want to say, in London. Is it truth? How many times? I would venture to say that they've probably done that. That this has happened quite a few times. That they would be, down there searching for certain things or having building projects, and they come across things that are buried. I'm sure that things like that have been going on. They were talking about when they went in, when the military went into Iraq, and the things that they were finding underground. And at the start of the movie, that's what was going on. They're gonna let us know what they're finding, but it's just confirming many of the things that are being told to them. It's probably confirming many of the things that they're reading in our old records. Remember, they didn't have access to our records. So once they got access to them, they're realizing that these records are true, and this information that's in there is true. Check this out. A huge tunnel has opened below Niagara Falls. It was a little story that just kind of popped up and then just disappeared a little while ago. But I saw that a huge tunnel has opened below Niagara Falls. You got a little clip on it, and then that was pretty much the extent of it. Nothing to see here. Keep it moving. Okay. And the same thing right here, talking about time travel or time machines. You guys talking about the Vatican right here. It says from the 1960s until the 1990s, Father Pellegrino Ornetti claimed that he helped create a time machine, okay, called the chronovisor, which he used to observe the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. 12 world-famous scientists assisted in its construction, including Werner von Braun. It worked by receiving, decoding, and reproducing the electromagnetic radiation left behind from past or future events. What are these people doing in their labs? Where are they getting this information from? Where are they digging, and where are they getting this technology from? You see, there's a lot of things that are going on that they're telling the world one thing while they're doing something totally different behind closed doors. You've got the spirits coming down and giving knowledge, giving understanding. And that's why you got to be very careful with, distractions. If these distractions are coming and they're giving, if that's how you know if it's a distraction. Is it giving you more information, or is it just regurgitating old information? Is it helping you to grow and get closer to the Most High? Is it showing you how at the end the Most High is going to give us more knowledge and understanding? Is it doing that? Because if it's not, if it's just rehashing old stuff, then more than likely it's a distraction. That's why in Sirach 4, 17 and 18, she will return the straight way unto him. She's going to give us back our knowledge. She's going to give us the straight way. We had these technological advances before. Just like when the brothers were with Joseph and they had a machine that could find their brother. That was just showing you that we had technological advances that were way beyond the other nations. That's just like the stuff that Professor X from the X-Men had when he put on Cerebro and was able to locate the mutants. We had those kinds of things way back then. So it talks about she will return the straight way unto him. She's going to return knowledge, understanding who we are. That's one thing. But also technological advances that we had before as well. And the other nations are trying their best to get their hands on our technological, information. That's what they've been trying to do for these last few hundred years while we were asleep. When you look at the gospel of truth in the Nag Hammadi, by the fruit one knows what is yours. For the Father's children are his fragrance. They are from the beauty of his face. No matter what they do, we are going to chase the Father. We are of his fragrance. So if they put up distractions, you should be, if you are of the Father, you should easily be able to see that that's a distraction. That is not helping me grow. That is not getting me closer to the Most High. If I just stay here and just have this discussion, I'm losing brain cells. I'm just gonna be listening to the same things over and over and over again. That's all that you're gonna get from them. Like I said, look at the preppers. Look at their videos. It's the same things over and over again. Nothing new. Distractions. War is coming. War is coming. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Get prepped up. Get prepped up. Get your bug out bag. Get out of town. Get out of here. Get out of there. That's all that they have. That's all that they have. Jesus Christ is on his way. Are you ready for Jesus? Have you done a sinner's prayer? Are you ready to get raptured up? Nothing new. Oh, Hebrews to Negroes. Hey, you guys all came from Africa. I got a new book for you. How about that Babylon of Timbuktu? I got this new information from you. Yeah, you can check out this Babylon of Timbuktu. This here proves that you came from Africa. You see what I'm saying? So-called over here, so-called Middle East, that's you. That's all of your land right there. That little itty bitty strip of land, that's all that your father left you. Everything else in the world was left for us. More distractions. Zira's talking about Nazis here and their maps of the hollow earth and directions. Now see, you hear that they didn't find anything. They didn't know, they were search, but they never found anything. If they found something, do you think they were going to admit it? Do you think they were just going to tell everybody they found, the entrances to the hollow earth? Not going to keep that stuff to themselves. Because they're all Confederate. Got to understand that. They're all Confederate to keep this information from a certain group of people because it was theirs originally. And eventually, it's all going to be given back to them. And they're going to be the ones that are going to be able to really, disseminate it because it was theirs originally. It's in their DNA. It's in their spirit. And they won't need Gentiles to break it down for them because we have the Spirit. We have the Holy Spirit who's leading us back to give us, it already said, the Spirit's going to give us back all of our knowledge, understanding. We have the Father's fragrance. We can smell it. So therefore, we're going to get past all of the distractions that the other nations are going to put in front of us. Because there's nothing they can do to stop us from going back to our Father. And this is all in that video. If you guys want to go check it out, check out that video. NASA's 1967 image of the North Pole. There's your opening right there. And it shows you even more information about how lights are coming out of it, okay, which makes those northern and southern lights. Because that's where they come from. See, all this information that they've known, but they've kept it from us. But they've been producing books and passing it back and forth between themselves. So what else have they found that they haven't shared with us? That's top secret. Now you understand that these top secrets are your secrets. It's top secret because it's stuff that's new to them that you can't see. And it's talking about burying relics and like where they bury them and how deep they are. How do they know where to bury their relics? The Knights Templar are 6 to 8 feet, 6 to 8 meters. The Celtic, there's things at 22 meters that are from the Celts. There are things at 36 meters, and they're unknown. They don't know exactly who buried these. Things at 67 meters that they don't know. 66.6. Okay, the grays. Okay, so who buried these things? Why are they buried at these levels? What's buried at these levels? Now you understand, like they've been doing all this digging, looking for these these relics. Now they make all these movies going into the earth looking for these things. Who put them there originally? What kind of technology was present at these times? But what do they give you? Hey, don't look at this information. Look at Kanye. Don't search for this information. Look at Kyrie. Don't worry about this stuff. Look at Shaq. Don't look for any of this information. Okay, look at what stupid stuff Charles is going to say today. Don't be looking for this kind of stuff. Look at what Shannon Sharp's going to say. You see what I'm saying? Look at what Stephen A says. Don't worry about this. Get upset about that. You see what I'm saying? It's all about distractions and keeping you from searching for your heritage. What have they found? Those are just things to kind of think about. Have they found, entities that are giving them knowledge, understanding? Are they giving them, we hear about them getting information about how to fight the Most High. Is that what they're finding down low? They bringing up these mummies and things like this right here. They're trying to give them, weapons to fight against the Most High. They must feel a little more confident trying to go against the Most High this time. So therefore, they must be getting information from somewhere. Talks about the Nephilim being in the earth. Is that what they're searching for? The Nephilim in the earth to assist them in fighting against the Most High. Food for thought. Things to think about. All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.